You're watching ChillyBoy Productions. I'm Larry ChillyBoy Chillson, and this is my review for Wicked for Good. Now, before we get into this review, make sure to go ahead and click that subscribe button down below so that you can chill with me on each and every one of my latest videos. Wicked for Good is a 2025 fantasy musical, once again from director John M. Chu, adapted from the stage musical Wicked, which itself was adapted from the novel Wicked, which was adapted from the series The Wizard of Oz. So Wicked for Good tells the second part of Elphaba and Glinda's story, as Elphaba is now seen as the Wicked Witch of the West on the run, while Glinda lives out her dreams in Emerald City. But the two must find a way to come together for the good of Oz as an angry mob, fueled by government powers, forms to hunt the Wicked Witch down. Wicked for Good once again stars Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande, as well as Jonathan Bailey, Jeff Goldblum, Michelle Yeoh, Marissa Bode, Ethan Slater, and Coleman Domingo. So if you couldn't tell, I absolutely loved Wicked. I also really enjoyed the play when I was able to finally check that out, and I happen to love The Wizard of Oz. So, needless to say, I was very, very excited for Wicked for Good. Now, I was a little bit nervous because for me, the play is a little bit front loaded. All of the most famous songs in this musical happen pre intermission, which is the first movie. Most of the iconic bits, the iconic jokes, all of the set pieces, they're all kind of in that first half. So I was a little bit concerned cutting it at that intermission was going to leave us with quite the divide in films. And while I do think that is partially accurate, and we'll talk about it, I still had a really, really good time with Wicked for Good. I'm just going to say this up front. If you loved the Wicked musical, the stage adaptation, I think you're going to love Wicked for Good as well, much like I did. So let's go ahead and talk about the positives first. Well, I want to start with our two leading ladies once more. Cynthia Erivo is just fantastic, really magnetic and expressive as Elphaba. She brings so much, not only really in her acting, but also in her act singing. She interprets these songs in such a beautiful, emotive way that brings new life and understanding to these lyrics. Acting through your singing. I love to see it in a musical, and Cynthia Erivo is a master. But I have to say, and this wasn't even necessarily the case for me with the first Wicked, Ariana Grande, she kind of steals the show in this one. And partially that's because Wicked for Good feels a little bit more Glinda centric, as the first film definitely was more Elphaba centric. But oh, Ariana absolutely killed it in this movie. So much range. If you had doubts for her as an actress, more than just like the comedic chops, she shows it all here. Ariana is amazing. And Ariana's vocal acting is really, really good, particularly in her opening song. The way she kind of belts out in her more natural Ariana voice to convey the emotion and the intent of what she's saying. Oh, it's so good. But just as important, and possibly even more important than their individual performances being fantastic, the glue of this film franchise, much like the start of the Wicked series over on Broadway, the chemistry. And we've seen it on the press tours. We've seen Ariana Grande being bodyguarded by Cynthia Erivo. Their chemistry is so amazing. I don't think they could have cast two better people for these roles together because they're amazing. They feel like lifelong friends. The looks that they give each other, everything about their chemistry and those two together is magic on the screen and does so much to endear you in and pull you in to what's happening, the emotions that you need to sell a story like Wicked for Good. I also think Jonathan Bailey is once again fantastic in this film, gets to show off a bit more range of emotion as well, even though he has arguably, I think, less screen time this go round. Oh, and the vocal chops once more. He can sing. And then looking to our veterans here with Jeff Goldblum and Michelle Yeoh specifically. I thought they were great. I would argue even much better than they were in the first film. Jeff Goldblum is given so much here that he gets to just chew on, and it's amazing. Oh, he has one sequence in particular that I thought was really fantastic. And then Michelle Yeoh, when she gets to just sink her teeth into a pure villain role, oh, once more, the music, the singing, the score, and the accompaniment here are all out of this world. The set designs are absolutely insane, and the costuming blew my mind. Everything they put Michelle Yeoh in this film, I was obsessed. All of Ariana's clothes, I was obsessed. The guards, I loved the choices they made with the one shoulder type of weird jackets. Oh, they look so good. Cynthia's coat and wardrobe look so good. Everybody, oh, it all looked amazing. And it gets the big moments right. For Good is a tearjerker. The whole theater was crying. No Good Deed had literal applause in our movie theater. It was a showstopper, so they get the big musical moments right. And the visuals, by and large, I thought looked quite good. And to top it all off, the political messaging really hit home in this one. There are a lot of moments in this film that you're like, oh, wow, yep, it is spot on, ain't it? And that John M. Chu sure does know how to stage and shoot an absolutely gorgeous cinematic wedding, doesn't he? So then, what doesn't work so well when it comes to Wicked for Good? Well, honestly, it's pretty faithful to the stage musical in what it has here. And that means most of the problems are the problems that the stage musical has. It comes down to a lot of details, plot points not having enough time or development, but it's a little bit more egregious in this case because you had two movies, two full-length feature films to flesh that all out rather than a 2.5 hour stage musical. So I was really hoping we'd get more development, more intricacies with a lot of these smaller plot points. And I don't really feel we do, unfortunately. And that's kind of the case with the first film as well. I thought we could have gotten more relationship building in that first film that we just didn't get. And that happens here yet again. And that is a shame because I think it leads to a bit of a pacing issue. The first part of this film is very oddly paced, actually, because you kind of start just like, I don't know, playing catch up in a very odd manner. It almost feels like a coda to the first film before we actually get to the second film. And then I think John M. Chu relies too heavily on flashbacks to a movie we just saw last year, to a movie that you presumably may watch back to back with this film. Too many flashbacks happening, too many exact callbacks happening. There's a big reveal specifically at the end of this movie, a big reveal. And if you know the musical, you know the one. I was really hoping they weren't going to do it. And I thought they weren't. But they handheld us. They had to go to the flashback to the sequence of the first movie just to make sure you understood. And I was like, oh, we don't need it. We don't need it. We got the point. But unfortunately, John M. Chu feels the need to make sure we understand and correlate these things back to the first film and, not let the foreshadowing and payoff that come naturally pay off as they would. But that's not a deal breaker for me. I think some of the CGI is a little bit wonky, but by and large, I thought it looked great. Really, any kind of screenwriting issues there are stem from the musical. And unfortunately, they're not improved on in the film. I honestly don't think they make the film worse for it either. So, Overall, I had a really good time with Wicked for Good. It hit me in all the feels. It made me smile watching it. It made my heart ache watching it. It made me swoon watching it. I thought they did as good of a job as they could have done adapting this half of the musical to the big screen, bringing it to life in dazzling fashion. And a plus is that I am so happy they left all of the cheeky little, like, funny nods that they do to The Wizard of Oz on the stage musical in here. There is a scene with Dorothy's shoes. I hollered. I was tickled with how they brought that to the screen. But all of the little like ad libs the characters just like throw out about like that Dorothy roaming around from the musical have a reincarnation of sorts here that's a lot of fun to play with. So if you enjoy Wicked, if you're a fan of this stage musical, if you're a fan of the first film, I think you're going to really enjoy Wicked for Good. It concludes our story in beautiful fashion. It's heartfelt. You can feel the love pouring in from everyone making this thing. And in turn, I do feel like fans are going to feel that they have been changed for good after seeing Wicked for Good. So, fans, you already got your tickets, but rush out. Make sure you experience Wicked for Good on the big screen. See it in a premium theater so you get the full audio experience. I saw it in Dolby. It was fantastic. And then come back and tell me if you loved it. So that was my review for Wicked for Good. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead, click that like button down below and subscribe to the channel so that you are always up to date on all of my latest videos. And make sure to join in on the discussion. Are you excited to see Wicked for Good? And once you have seen it, let me know all of your thoughts and comments down below. I love you all so much for your continued support. Mwah! Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.